welcome back. I'm Swishbone, giving you a sequel to my experiences playing the Xbox One at game. As you all know, I tried to play the Xbox One last week in the game store in Manchester, and while the Xbox One worked and while I was able to get a system working for it, I got glared at by the staff and pretty much encouraged to leave, and not encouraged at all to do anything regarding the game. Now, yesterday I was back in Manchester because I was going for a doctor's appointment, and on my way there I went past the game store. Out of morbid curiosity I looked in, even though my confidence in them was not quite badly by my last experience, and I saw two guys playing the game, playing on Xbox One, so I thought, interesting. I went in and I had my mobile phone out and I started videoing them, thinking I'm going to watch how long it takes for them to get removed from the system basically. And what happened? Nothing. They weren't approached. At one point, the store, imagine if the Xbox One was here, TV's there, and then underneath was a shelf for, I think it was for Wii U. And a store clerk came over, but just literally crouched down and started stocking the store. And left them to it. So I was like, interesting, maybe they picked up on the mistakes that they made last time. I did tweet it again, and I got no response using my Twitter account at @SSWishbone. However, I was expecting them, if they weren't going to respond, I thought that was going to be the end of it. But surprisingly, maybe they've picked up on it, I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into tweeting it to them. But either way, I parked that in my mind. I thought, okay, if they're allowing people to play it, I'll try and come back and see if I can give it a go. About an hour and a half later, I came back to the game store, and lo and behold, it was free, no one was on it. I went on, and I wasn't bothered. Huzzah! I had a chance to finally properly get to look at it. Now, the guys who'd been on it have been playing Forza 5, and the game was pretty much loaded, so when I clicked it, the video of New York and everything didn't appear. It went straight to the game. So, I then finally got to play the game, Forza 5. Disappointment. Very much a disappointment. I really don't think it's worth the money that's being charged for it. I really don't. For a start, quite a few of the tracks, like in Japan, all the Japanese circuits are in it, as far as I'm aware. They've brought back the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, which is very, very poor. It was on Forza 3, and compared to Sarv, it's nothing but a pale shadow, it's rubbish. They've also got a street circuit on the streets of Prague, which is nice. It's okay, but it's no massive enhancement graphically. It's not needed. It's very gimmicky. It's certainly not up there with the likes of Macau or Monaco or the Singapore night race or Long Beach in terms of street tracks. It's like in terms of that, it's not like they've got a really good street circuit from it. They just got a bit of a gimmick in a European city, really. Now, the thing that annoyed me was fourfold with the game. First of all, the loading times. Despite the games on the Xbox One needing to be installed to your hard disk once you buy it on disc, you have to install it to play it, you can't just play it on disc. Despite that, the load times were horrific. Really, really long. Not much shorter, if they were even shorter, than when I play Forza 4 on the 360 off the disc. I know there's more data, but it shouldn't take that long. I can put a film on my hard disk drive that's a gigabyte in size and it'll read it straight away. Now, yeah, I've got Blu-rays. I've been sent Blu-ray ISOs for reviews, which are 40 gig, and it plays them fine. So, it's like game data, so it's probably more than that, but even so, I'm pretty certain I'll be able to play it without a problem on a computer. And this is on a laptop PC. It's not on anything special, it's not a gaming PC. And that's the thing, the console is designed for gaming. So I'd expect it to be able to read all this data, maybe not instantaneously. I'd expect some load time, but I don't expect it to be as long as the Forza 4 load times on disc. That's a big, big, big penalty on them there, really poor. Another thing that's wrong with Forza 4 is the handling and the stats are totally wrong. The Aerial Atom V8 is in the game. Now, the Aerial Atom V8, for those of you who watch Top Gear, will know that it absolutely annihilated the Bugatti Veyron Supersport when it comes to lapping that track. It was something like 1.7 seconds faster, which, as anyone who tells you in motorsport, that much faster over a lap is insane dominance. So, on the game, it's got 9.6 launch and 9.5 acceleration, or it might be the other way around, right? Yeah, I expect that. Tons of power, lightweight chassis. But the top speed is a rating of 6.5. The handling, something like 6.4. Nonsense. The car is very lightweight, has slick tyres that are allowed road legally, and has proper downforce. Yes, it's got a lot of power, so it makes handling it a bit more difficult, but it's not so bad that it would be at the same handling rates as some of these European sports cars, like a Lotus. It's got more grip than that, a lot more grip. So, very poor. Also, European saloon cars, like the BMW M3, BMW M5, Mercedes AMG, they all have like ratings of 4.5. Again, hogwash. Not even most American muscle cars on Forza 4 are that bad when they're at A-class. They're usually in the 5s. Pathetic. Really, really poor as far as I'm concerned. They could have done a lot better with that. I'll also say that graphically, I don't think it's a big step up. I really don't. Yes, it has got some improvements. In cockpit view, the buttons on the steering wheel and that are really, really clear. But unless, like me, you race in cockpit view, like on my Twitch channel, Tales from the Cockpit, you don't really see it. And outside on the circuit, the backgrounds look nice and there's a bit more interaction there with the crowds. But the problem is, the other cars, the other rivals, the cars still look very rough around the edges. They look very blocky, which is something I expect from the Xbox, not the Xbox One. Really, really lacking there. Another thing I really didn't like, as far as this goes, was the AI. On the back of the box it says that the AI has a new advanced system so that it gets better as you get better. It learns, it makes mistakes, and it else. No, it doesn't. It does not. It's the same as Forza 4, in that they brake when they don't need to. So going back to Le Mans Bugatti circuit, when it opens, there's a fast corner going towards the first chicane onto the Mulsanne, right? So to the Dunlop chicane, right? You can take that flat in the high-end cars. In the medium cars, you may have to lift, may have to dab the brakes a little and drop a couple of gears, but you don't have to like get on the anchors and turn. You don't treat it like starting a chicane, for instance. The AI does. So they all get bunched together because you always start in somewhere stupid like 12th place because they still won't let you qualify, which I find nonsense. So you start in the middle of the pack or right at the back. You're coming through because you've got better launch line. 4 cars go abreast of the squad, all brake at the same time. Boom. There goes your front end, there goes your engine, there goes your gearbox. Congratulations, your race is ruined. Now yes, you can turn damage off. I shouldn't have to turn damage off. I shouldn't have to. I should be able to race the computer normally. You don't see people deliberately braking to cause accidents unless you're a fraudster. People don't do that on racetracks. They're trying to get maximum speed, pushing the car. That's the whole point of it. So I thought that was pretty poor. Now, I'll also say, going back to the Xbox One, I do think it's extremely overpriced. Even with the price drop to £400, which yes, you get the Kinect, but again, more people don't want the Kinect. Because the Kinect has always been lacking. It's not been fun to play with. This Forza is meant to have a thing where using the Kinect you can look away. Now in cockpit view, most of the time that wasn't working. I'm like, moving my hands, it's not looking to the left or right. So I'm still having to use my analog stick to look in my mirrors. The whole point of that was, from Forza 4 onwards, the idea was if you're in cockpit view, you could literally like glance over and the camera would glance as if you're looking at the rear view mirrors. So if I'm in a left-hand drive car, I'd be looking over there. If I'm in a right-hand drive, slight glance to the mirror there. Doesn't work. And the Kinect was definitely on, I know that much, because it happened sporadically. It happened like once in 8 attempts. Not very good batting average, very poor. I also think, going back to the cost now, $3.99 is a hell of a lot of money. Now yes, it includes a game, but when you consider increasing your library costs, it's just too expensive. Game had an offer, and I'm not making this up, special offer, Forza 5 and a controller, £95. The game Forza 5 retails brand new at £55. Right? So, think on this. They're saying the controller on special offer is £40. Bollocks. Complete and utter bollocks. How is that a special offer? £95, I can get the new Thief game, the brand new one, it's only just come out. I can easily get 2 for £20 relatively newish games, such as Arkham Origins, such as Forza 4. I could then still have money to get a second controller, and more than likely, a plug-and-play charge kit for the Xbox 360. So for that, I'll be getting 3 games, an extra controller, and a plug-and-play charge kit, so I don't have to worry about batteries. All for the price of a game and a controller on the Xbox One. And don't forget, think of this, right? So you're someone, you've paid £400 for your console, then if you decide to get this game in the second pad, that's £495. Really? That's ridiculous. You can go and get an Xbox 360 for I think about £180 maximum these days, and you can easily get games cheap, and you can get the controllers, and you can get all the pads. You could easily, for the price that you're spending on the Xbox One, buy a console, and I'd say anywhere between 5 and 10 games, depending on how old and recent you want your games to be, and the second controller, and the plug-and-play charge kits, probably for both controllers. The PS3, you can get a pack, I believe it's on Amazon, it's like £250, maybe £230, where you can get GTA 5, Gran Turismo 6, the console, and then still have change, 100 to 150 quid, to get your second controller, and buy other games like Arkham Origins, buy the new, all these kind of games. The cost is simply too high. It's just not worth it. Now, I'm sorry, I mean, maybe I sound like a moaning old git here, but the point is, at the moment, we've got more people in this country using food banks. Like, you know, going to charities and say, please give me food. We've got more and more people facing pay freezes or pay cuts. We've got redundancies, we've got high street stores closing. People can't afford to outlay this much cash. It's simply not viable. People, in general, don't have the luxury. Someone like me who lives alone could save a few £100 a month. I theoretically could, over 2 months. But even then, I've still got to wait for at least 2 months. I've not got the money spare. No, this is like, you know, it's simply too much money. For me, you're better off getting an Xbox 360 or a PS3 and staying with the current gen for at least another year. Looking at the game library for the upcoming Xbox One PS4, only 2 games get my interest. The first of which I've wanted for a long, long time is the sequel to Mirror's Edge, well, sequel, reboot, whatever you want to call it. The trailer for it looks amazing to show what the game engine can do. No further news has come. Last I heard it was frozen due to problems with Battlefield 4, because once again, the company making both makes Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 is a pile of shit, so they're having to spend ages fixing it, and everything else gets shoved on the back burner. FPS games, this is what you do to the gaming industry. You are the ones responsible. Because your little 14-year-olds want to go all the time, and if things aren't, everything else gets put on the back burner. Fuck you, FPS games. Fuck you. Right, second thing, another thing I'm looking forward to, however, is the new Batman game, Arkham Knight. That got announced on the 5th of March. Go on YouTube, search for the trailer for it. It looks excellent. It looks like what Rocksteady are doing, who are actually making the game. Rocksteady now are doing it, unlike with Arkham Origins. And one of the things that's good about it is it looks like they've taken the concept and universe of the Arkham games, like Arkham style, Arkham City, and then fused it with the Christopher Nolan Batman universe. They've got like the huge tank style Batmobile and everything. It looks excellent. But again, it's only a trailer, we've not seen the actual gameplay, but the massive amounts of promise there, and because Rocksteady did Arkham Asylum and did Arkham City, 2 phenomenal Batman games. I have faith that their third will be just as amazing. So that's another game that's got my interest. Other than that though, not much on the horizon unfortunately. It's just the lack of imagination from gaming companies is going to kill the industry in my opinion, because too many people have just put out the same old stuff all the time. FPS games, sports games. If you're an FPS and sports gamer, fine. But if you're someone who likes games on more creativity, aside from the games like Mirror's Edge, games like Portal, the Batman Arkham universe, they're not as easy to find. They're out there, but in terms of the promise for the new games that are coming up, I'm just not seeing it. So, my experience playing the Xbox One and playing Forza 5 is that right now it's a rushed, incomplete, and expensive mess. Pull your socks up.